So here's a little hack and a process that will hopefully improve some lives. What we're in here is Studio, and we're looking at a customer file. This is a DXF that once it passes through Studio is performing poorly on Origin. So we're going to look at how to fix that. There's a few problems with the DXF, but that's not the problem with the performance. The problem causing the performance issue is when you shapeshift all this geometry together, Origin has to calculate toolpaths for every single element whenever you hover over one of them, right? So it's the perimeter shape with all these holes in it is one shape, and that means the toolpath has to be calculated for everything. Now we can improve our lot and make this really, genuinely performant by first grabbing the perimeter as one object and then grabbing all the holes as another object. That way Origin can just calculate an individual hole rather than everything every time it moves from one to the next. So we're going to walk through doing that, and first of all we're going to import our DXF. I've just selected it, and if I go to exploded, down here we see place 111 objects. So that doesn't add up, right? 9 by 6 should give us 54, and then the perimeter 55. So clearly there's duplicate elements in here. So let's see if we can fix that as we go. Now we're offset here from 0. So I'm just going to 0 this for no other reason than to be meticulous. And then I'm going to drop everything. You see here we have 111 objects selected. And I'm going to drop that and then just select one perimeter. So let's shapeshift that. And we're going to keep we're not going to keep any existing shapes, and we're just going to make that into a shape. So that's my perimeter. Looks solid. Happy with that. We're actually going to use a new feature, reference. So this will turn it orange, and it's now a locked geometry. What does that mean? So now whenever I select anything out here, if it overlaps a referenced object, you will never select the reference object. So what I've got here is clearly a duplicate. So let's just see what happens here. Click and drag, there's my reference. I can still select it if I want to unlock it, but when it's overlapping with other ones, you're going to select the duplicate first. So that's basically what we're going to try and do. We're going to try and find any duplicates and delete them. So I'm going to delete that, and then I see down here there's pure orange or yellow, and then there's a little black element here. So that's showing me there's another duplicate. So let's just delete that. I'm just hitting the delete key on the keyboard. So now we've got the perimeter looks clean. There's no black or selected blue elements, just that orange. Now I'm going to select all my circles. And to do that, I'll click off the edge without moving. I'm left clicking, and then I start to move. You see the little plus popped up, and it starts selecting things. So this is telling me now I have 108 items selected. So that should be 54. So there's a problem. So let's use ShapeShifter again to blow away all the unnecessary selections or duplicates. So select all, make shape. So now this is going to present as one object. You'll see if I just select it, it sort of grouped them, but it hasn't made one massive compound shape, which is the key to, because it's not cutting holes in a bigger shape. These are two separate shapes. So let's go through. I'm going to start with these and move over to the plan mode. So basically we've cleaned up our DXF, then we can treat these independently. So I can go to plan, and I can go, okay, that's good. There's 54 of these, so that's what we expected. Inside cut, I'm going to tell it to be 1/4 inch deep, and the depth can be 0.75. You don't need to do this. This just means I don't have to do that on Origin. Now, here's another interesting note. Reference element does not show up here, so it's not going to be exported by default. So I do want the perimeter, so let's go back and take that, select it, and then make it editable. Now, when we go back to plan, you'll see it's readily available to cut. Now, this is not an inside cut. We want to cut on the outside of that line. And we'll do the same thing. 1/4 inch cutter, 0.75. Whoa, I did an offset of 0.75. depth 0.75. Good thing we get a preview there to warn us. So now we're in business. Thus, if I just go over here and give it a name, that will be available on Origin, showing up in the studio section when you go import, ready to cut. And it will be lightning fast. So hope that helps.